First things first, domain name versus hosting. And you might know that domain name is also called a URL, which is a Uniform Resource Locator. All that means is the domain name is your address. It is unique to you. It is registered, so you don't own it. What happens is it's a bit like renting a house. You're renting that domain name. You have a license to use it, and if you forget to pay that license fee, you lose it. The same as if you didn't pay rent on your house, you would lose it. The license is transferable, so as long as you're the registrant and you're the registrant for more than 60 more days, you can transfer that domain name to someone else. Or if you're sorting out your legal structures in your business, you might transfer that domain name to a non-trading entity in your structure. The domain name is the address, a little like a post office box or the way you write a street address. It's the post box that you're sending it to. That's all the address is about, and that's all the domain name is about. It's not the whole website behind it. So it's not the website, it's not the hosting, it's not the content management system, and it's not owned by you, okay? It is just the address where people find you, and you have to pay to keep it. Hosting. Hosting is looking after your information. It's a paid service. It's also transferable, so you can move it from one company to another. Hosting, what happens is all of the data, so this is what people see on your website, all the information that becomes visible and accessible to the public, that information is hosted somewhere. And that's a server, and that's either a cloud-based server, which still means that there's a physical backup somewhere, or it's a physical server that you have. Now, most people nowadays use cloud hosting, but that just means that the cloud hosting provider has a building full of servers somewhere or in multiple places around the world. Hosting is about content storage and delivery. It's a bit like having the block of land. So where the domain name is your postbox, your hosting is your block of land. It's where it sits and where it's kept. It's not the website. It's not the website building tool. It's not the content management system for your website, and it's not the internet. It's just the storage and delivery of that information. So actually looking at that analogy, if you look at the postbox as the domain name and you look at the hosting as the land, then the website is the house that sits on the land, and the internet are all the streets. Okay, so that's the kind of analogy to the way it all fits together. For your website to be visible to the public, you must have the domain name. So you must have the address, you must have the hosting. You must have a content management system. Now you just need to have the programming behind the website. And nowadays, most people do that through a content management system because that is the easiest way to do it. So common systems are WordPress. WordPress is used by over 25% of the world's websites apparently. Squarespace is another one. 10x Pro is one. Wix is another one. They're all content management systems that make it easier for you to build a website without actually having to know how to program. You don't have to do the HTML or the PHP or any of those background systems yourself, or coding. Now, you also need website content. So building a website's one thing. You get a framework. So for example, with WordPress, our website's built on WordPress. We use a WordPress theme, and that theme provides all of the structure of how the website is presented. But then we have to source or create all of the images. We have to source or create all of the words, all of the videos, all of the content that you access when you come to our website. We've got to provide that as well. So there's all of those aspects in having a website.